Hello and welcome to the Blackout Podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today I have Bevie, Halifax. I know you use
YHZ.
YHZ.
YHZ, yeah.
Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Okay, what's the origin of your YouTube channel?
I started back in October of 2021, just as the pandemic was just, kind of getting off. And I've been watching with my son a lot of the walking channels that he would find on YouTube. And I was just like, that looks like fun. I could do that. Nobody does anything for Halifax. Like, I was going through and seeing all the cities. There was New York, there was Toronto, there was Ottawa, there was Montreal, there was a couple that were from Vancouver. And I'm just like, I can do this. I'll represent the Halifax. So I asked a friend of mine if I could borrow a gimbal for my phone, because he's a photographer. And he lent it to me, and I was just like, just experimenting and playing around with it. And I was like, okay, I can do this. What do I do? So I talked to one of the Toronto WalkTubers that I watch regularly, and we're pretty good friends. And he just said, well, if you have a phone and you have a gimbal and you got 2 feet and a heartbeat, go. And I was just like, all right. And he goes, that's all you need. He goes, for your editing software, he goes, I've tried quite a few. These are the ones that I recommend. So I was like doing that. And I was like, this isn't so bad. And I said, I can get out, walk, show my city, try to lose a little bit of weight, which that doesn't happen. But, sometimes my son comes along with me. And then I was just like, I'm going to try to do a live stream some night. So I decided one Thursday night in like January or something, it was like I started off at the library up on Gottingen Street, and I walked all downtown, South End, all the way back. And it was cold, but by the end of it, I was on such an adrenaline rush, and just having a live chat at the same time of viewers watching me, and, just having a conversation with them as I'm walking, like I can actually interact with people. So I really love the live stream aspect of the channel.
And like the back and forth is always great. I think I watched one you did. It was it was kind of like just by Spring Garden, and it was in an afternoon, I think. It was great to watch. But how do you, what was the plan? Do you like kind of plan the routes out? Do you know I'm going to walk from here to here? Do you have an idea how long it's going to take?
I do for like walking videos, but if I'm doing live stream, it's just by the seat of my pants. Like I just like, oh fuck it, let's go. Let's just go. And but like with I'll pull out Google Maps, and I was like, okay, where haven't I been for a while? And I'll be like looking. I was like, oh, I haven't done the North End for a while. Let's go up to the North End. Let's do the Hydrostone. Let's walk around there and show people that unique neighborhood, because it's the only neighborhood like that in Canada.
Oh.
So I wanted to showcase and tell the history of how the Hydrostone became. And I did 2 videos down in Seaview Park where Africville was. And that was my first time down there, because I had never gone down there. And I was just like, okay, there's a lot of history here. And I hope I can do the history of the location justice, because, where it isn't my culture or anything like that. I didn't want to be disrespectful. So, but it was, it was nice. I talked about what was going on. I saw the church, and I talked about how they recreated the church and how that was the center of the community. And, I did get a lot of views on that. We went to the Look-Off Park. And like my son usually comes along with me too, because I like to have company and talk to him and get his interactions. But now that he's older and he's more independent, he was just like, no, you go do it on your own. And I'm like, okay. Teenagers.
Yeah. The name, I mean, like, did you know what you were going to call your channel? Or?
No, this was just a temporary name, and it just kind of stuck.
Oh.
I wasn't, because like all my family and friends, like ever since I was like younger, always called me Bevie. They're like, oh, hey Bevie, and all stuff. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to incorporate Bevie, because people know me like that. And I was just like, what can I do? And I was like, I wanted to do like Bevie Wanderers. And I was just like, no, that's too close to the Halifax Wanderers. I don't want the soccer team to come after me.
Oh, right.
Didn't want them coming after me for a copyright of like kind of taking their name. And then I already knew that there was a Halifax Walker. So I was like, oh gosh, what can I do and all that stuff. And I'm sitting there with my notepad in the living room one day. My son's playing video games and I'm just like writing down different names. And I was like, YHZ. I will do that because nobody's ever used a city code in their names for their channels. Like there's Auto Walks, there's Johnny Strides, there's Ken Continuum. Like those are some of the channels that I watch. There's Action Kid down in, well, he was in New York, now he's in Miami. And I'm just like, nobody's ever done something that has their city's name in it except for Auto Walks. And I'm just like, Bevie YHZ, because I have like a background, well, I have two different career backgrounds. One was hairdressing and makeup artistry for 20 some odd years, got out of that, and then got into logistics and supply chain. So even the port code for Halifax is YHZ because it's an IATA number. And so I was like, Bevie YHZ, I'll use that for now. And I said, if I come up with something better, I'll change it. And it stuck. And I like it now. Like it grew on me because it took a while for it to grow on me. But yeah.
No, I love the name. You don't forget it, especially like if you're in the airports a lot. Like, you know, you kind of know, oh, okay, that's Halifax. And do you remember the very first video you did, and how was that experience?
My first video, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Citadel Hill. I started off at Citadel Hill. At the very top, it was a non-narrated video. Like, I didn't speak in it. I just recorded. I was up at the top of Citadel Hill, and my opening shot was the main gate where it says Citadel. And then I turned around and I did a voiceover for it. Just because at the time, there wasn't that many like of the YouTubers that were doing the walking channels that were talking during their channels. They would just silently have it as an ASMR. So I said, oh, I'll do that. And I walked from the top of Citadel Hill all the way down to the ferry terminal. And I still remember my closing shot was the best one ever because it was the two ferries coming and they were crisscrossing.
Oh.
And I was just like, there's the money shot. So I was like, this channel's going to do okay. It's going to do okay and everything. And then my next video, I said, screw it, I'm going to talk.
Right.
Because I'm a talker, because I haven't shut up since I got here. So. So I just kept on talking, and it was the windy day. I walked down Spring Garden Road. It was like a couple of days later. And all I remember is that the wind, because at the time I didn't have my little Pocket 2 camera that I have, which is like a little mini handheld. And the phone in the wind, especially at Spring Garden and Barrington Street, it was like flipping around and everything. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, okay. And then when I got to Barrington and Sackville Street, right where the old Starbucks used to be, that was it. My phone fell off the whole gimbal and everything. And I was just like, okay, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to post it.
Yeah.
And I will do a little bit of a voiceover. I'll put captions down below and everything. And they were just like, you actually talked on your videos. I had people comment. They were more interested that I was talking and yelling over the wind noise and everything. Because I didn't have like, I've always known them as a dead mouse. Like the little wind muff over it. Yeah, a dead mouse.
Yep. And, the hairy little thing.
Yep. And I was just like doing this a lot. I shouldn't. I put my hand over the mic, so sorry about that. But that's what I was doing to block out the wind, and I was like yelling. And people are like walking down Barrington Street, and they're like, you know, looking at me. And I'm just like, you know, just doing my thing with my camera.
Yeah.
And you know, and people seem to like that. And I said, okay, what's my next video? Oh, let's do Point Pleasant Park. So that was like a two-parter. And I hated that one.
Why?
Oh my gosh. It was because it was my old phone. No offense to Apple, but it was an Apple phone and it kept dying out on me. And I was just like, I always had Apple and everything. And I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So, because it died halfway through a video. So I had to wait, recharge it. So I'm sitting there with my battery pack, charging it up in the park. And I'm starting to get a little frustrated. I was like, oh. And I had, my son was with me. He goes, what's taking so long? And I was like, shut up. What's taking so long, Mom? And I'm just like, you just go walk, do your thing. And I said, I'm just going to sit here and watch everybody with their dogs and the joggers and people watch and come up with a you know, plan B. So once everything got charged up, I did it and then came home and I edited it. And at the time I was just using like a free version of an editing software, and then moved on from there. And then once I got my new phone that I currently use, I use it now
Is it
just
an
for...
Apple phone?
No, it's a no, it's a Samsung Galaxy.
Okay.
So I have a Samsung Galaxy which I use for my when I do live streams. And then once I got monetized on the channel, because my subscriber count just kept going up and up and up, and I'm just like, holy moly, like what's going on? And I was really impressed with that. And I had people, like, when they were doing live streams, they're like, we want to send you super chats, but you're not monetized. We want to, like, you look cold. Go get yourself a thing. And I said, I have a PayPal and stuff. And they were like, what is it? And I was like, I don't know yet. I couldn't remember. I'm like on a live stream and I could not remember my PayPal. And then I said, what I'll do is I'll just stick it in the description. I said, just look PayPal, just, Bevie YHZ or anything. So next thing you know, I was like getting PayPal. Get yourself a hot chocolate, get a cookie, just get something from her. Because it was like in the wintertime when I started doing live streams. And, I think the first time I did a face reveal, it was on my 100th, when I got 100 subscribers. Then I said, okay, I'll do a quick little introduction to the thing. People can see who I am, and went off from there. And, I just go around, I've never had any troubles recording around the city. Like, I try to ask permission first. So even when I go to the library, if I do the Central Library, people want to see that video. So I go in, I was like, can I record? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. Just don't put people's faces on there deliberately. And I was like, no, I don't shoot people. I just shoot my surroundings. And I said, if people are in there, I just move the camera around and everything. And I said, plus it's very discreet, my camera. And so they're like, yep, not a problem. And it was Christmas time, and I was like, I wonder if I can do the mall at Christmas time. Let's do Halifax Shopping Centre and Micmac Mall. So I emailed them, because I know you're not allowed to record while you're in the mall, because it's private property.
Oh, I didn't.
It's private property. So I had to email, and Halifax Shopping Centre. They're like, oh yeah, because I used to work with my friend Brian, who does the Santa booth with Click Productions, and so they're like, oh yeah, we know who you are, and we know who your son is, because everybody knows Mark at the mall, and so they're like, yeah, go for it. Record the video, show off the Christmas decorations, do whatever, fill your booths. And I was like, all right. And I said, is security going to give you a hard time? She goes, nope, I'm going to inform them that you're coming, that you're going to be there. All you have to do, if they stop you, just say that you have my permission. So thanks, Stephanie, at Halifax Shopping Centre. So that, that was pretty good. And then I sent off the same email to Micmac, but unfortunately Micmac said, no, there's no recording at all in the mall.
Oh, wait, did they have the train? Is it a train or, no, sorry, is a tree with the weird face?
Yeah, when they brought back Woody this year, I was like, I went to the mall and I took photos of Woody and I showed it, like I posted it on Instagram, like the comparison of Woody from, 30 years ago to Woody with his new facelift. And I think Woody had a little bit too much Botox. Just saying, he just looked a little too much fillers. He went on a little binge there. So.
Well, that's what happens when you have so much money. You're like, I'm just going to get all the injections.
Just do it. And I'm just like, Woody, you used to have like the little pouty lip, and you had like the cute little elf cheeks and stuff, and now you just look like somebody who just went a little too far.
Yeah, it's like...
I get that you wanted to refresh your look, but But,
how you mentioned like the iPhone and now your Samsung, but like how important is gear with what you do?
I find it very important. Like after I borrowed Brian's gimbal, that's when I went and ordered my own. So I got my own, and I got like it's an Osmo 3 that I use for like as my gimbal. And then I was getting tired of lugging around like this big old clunky gimbal trying to record around the city. And I said, I want to do it a little bit more discreet, just in case, like, if people ever give me a hard time. I only had one person that gave me a hard time on the street. And it was like, way up in the West End. I was on a residential street, and it was one of the guys that collect the bottles.
Oh, okay.
And he was across the street a block down. He yelled at me, and he was like, "You better not have me on camera." And I'm like, "You're not on camera." Then I looked. Then I whispered into my microphone, "I'm on a public street in a public area. It's the law. I can do it." You got to know like your recording laws and stuff. And I said, "I'm out in public on a public street. I'm not on public." If I was in somewhere private, then yes, I would edit him out or pixelate him. But no. You're fair game when you're on the streets. Fair game, like there's so many CCTVs around and cameras, like on the buses, the ferries, on streets, you're always on camera. So
that's what people do. You're almost always on camera.
Yeah, and so I'm just like doing that. And I think a couple weeks ago, at one of the ferry terminals, I was waiting for my son because the ferry came in. We're ready to continue the live stream. On the ferry boat coming from Dartmouth over to Halifax, and security stopped me and he goes, "You can't film in here." And I'm just like, this would be my umpteenth time in the ferry terminal filming, and you're now telling me I can't? Okay. So I just discreetly put the phone. I whispered in the microphone. I was just like, "Okay, I'm putting the microphone down, the camera down, but I'm still recording. You can still hear me," and everything. Then my son comes down and all that stuff. And he goes, What do you want?" And I was just like, "We gotta go. The ferry's gonna leave and all that stuff." He goes, "How come your camera's down beside you?" And I was like, "Because I got dinged by the security guard." So that was the only time I ever got dinged by a security guard for recording, and only one person that harassed me on the street. So, and that was it. But
so, and then it's just your Samsung on the gimbal, and that's
actually,
and then the microphone goes.
No, well, I use the Samsung and the gimbal for when I'm doing the live streaming, but I have an Osmo Pocket 2.
Oh,
yeah, an Osmo Pocket.
Neat.
And it's a creator combo, so it has the wireless mic. And I always have that tucked in. I have the advantage that men don't have when I'm live streaming, because they have to hold on, clip their microphones to their shirts or their collars, and I'm just like, I don't want my microphone being seen, because it has I'll put the dead mouse on it. I flip it in and clip it onto my bra strap. I love being a girl. So I do that, and and because that way you're not getting any hang, and I always make sure I wear shirts that aren't going to be rubbing up against it, so you're not going to hear the sound. Sorry for the audio. But you're not going to get that swishing sound and everything. And I'm very aware of different things. I make sure that my keys are put away in a pocket, in my jeans pocket. If I'm wearing jeans, I don't keep them loose, so you don't hear the keys jingling or anything like that. And then I just walk around and just talk.
Do you edit right once you get home? Do you take a break? Oh, wow.
Yep.
Why?
When I was being because I've been a little bit lax lately, which I'm trying to get back into it, because I was working 40 hours a week at my regular job, because this is not my job. This is just my hobby.
Something you enjoy doing.
Yeah, it's fun. It gets me out, gets me some fresh air. And but I would always try to schedule myself. Okay, when do I want this to be uploaded? When do I want this to be on here? How many videos am I going to do? And I used to try to strive between 2 to 3 videos a week, and then it kind of got down, and then I got a little bit lax, and then now I'm getting back into it. And now I'm on a new editing software from what I was using, and I like it a lot better. So I took out a year subscription for Filmora, which is what I'm using right now, from Power Director, which they were both good. I tried DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah, I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, we had an argument, the two of us. We just don't like each other. DaVinci Resolve and myself, we just do not like each other.
Stay in your lane.
Yep, I'm just yep, and you know what? I tried you. I gave it a shot. I tried it, and I could not. I was just like, why can I not get this? And I did Adobe Premiere. I tried that one, and it was just that's my backup plan right now, is the Adobe. It's still on my computer. I will use it if I need to, but right now I'm using a Filmora 11. And
what do you like about this app? I'm
blonde, so it's really easy.
It's so funny.
That's my weird sense of humor, but yeah, I like to use that one because it's fun, it's easy, and and it's quick.
Yeah, I noticed you had a new intro done for
Yeah,
your videos. How was the process of working on that?
that was super easy.
Oh,
That took more less time than it would for me to like to put all the clips together, and if I have to cut
oh,
and everything, because I try to keep my videos as one shot.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
try
I
to do it
noticed
as one
that.
shot and everything, and I'll make notes like on my phone, like as I'm walking with my camera, I'll have my phone out and I'll be like, okay, I gotta this mark, because I can see like the timer on the camera, and I'll if I need to like snip a little bit out, but normally it's 99.9% of the time
What it is?
it's a one shot, like from start to
Oh,
finish, that I don't have to.
that's wow, interesting. So, I guess you have the channel. Things are, you know, going okay. And do you get an email about being monetized, or how do you know? Okay, cool, money's coming in through the channel now.
I had to join the YouTube partner.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
YouTube partnerships, and so I did that a couple months before I knew I was getting monetized, like before, because you have to have 1,000 subscribers
Oh,
on your
okay.
channel to be monetized. So I applied for it and everything, so then it came through, and I had to get from Google, because they own YouTube, so they had
Yeah.
to send me from AdSense like an account number, and that keeps track of it. And like each month you do get like paid once a month
Oh,
and
okay.
everything. So that's fine. It's a little extra money.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it like it's and what happens, everything, like when people send me super chats during the live streams and everything,
Just
depending on,
goes there.
it goes on, like goes in towards that, and you get paid once a month for
Mm.
it. So when they say go get yourself a drink, or go get like a coffee or a tea or
Mm.
something, I'm like, I will when I get paid.
Yes. I saw the video you did where someone actually mailed you something. Like I think it was a jersey. Was it a top or something?
Oh, it was. I did a live stream on my birthday, this past January, because I'm born in January, and that was the day that I found out that I got a new job, and I don't know, and it was just like Johnny Strides, who's in Toronto, like that's my mentor, like that's who I always go to ask advice and for the like anything with the channel,
Mm-hmm.
and he opened up a merch store for his walking channel. So one of the viewers
Oh.
said, "Hey, I'm for your birthday and to congratulate you for your thing. I'm sending you a PayPal. Get yourself a hoodie." So I, while I'm doing the live stream and drinking my wine, because I kind of got a little tipsy on that home stream, that became Bevies with Bevie. Bevies with Bevie. That's like, if I'm going to drink on my streams, that's what I'll call it. And
Mm.
so then so then like I think 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, it arrived. So I had to do like, it wasn't in a box, so I can't call it an unboxing because it
Mm.
came in one of those little plastic packaging bags or
Mm.
whatever. So I was like, it's an unbagging and all that stuff. So I did that, and it was, and I thanked my viewer for sending it to me and everything. And like I think Johnny on his stream, he thanked me for showing it off and everything. And I said, oh yeah. So I wore it in a couple of like videos that I've had it on, like
Mm.
underneath like a jean jacket or something, especially when it's
Mm.
cold, because I layer. And because I know I can't wear nylon jackets when I'm walking,
No.
because you get that swishy sound. Yeah. And winter coats, I have, thank goodness, it's old as dirt. I have an old wool winter coat that I'll wear. And
Mm.
that way you're not hearing the swishing of the nylon from winter
Mm.
coats too, because that is just aggravating. Because when I'm editing, that's all I'll hear, and I'm just like, and I'm a lazy editor. I don't want to have to sit there and work with
Remove
and
things.
remove it and take out that, or take down that audio and try to keep my voice levels up,
Yeah.
to where they're supposed to be. And I'm just like, I'm gonna,
Just put it there.
it,
You mentioned one of the videos I loved was right by Darling Tattoos.
oh yeah,
And then you walked, and then the guy was cycling on the sidewalk. You remember?
yes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that was just a couple weeks ago when I
Yeah.
did that one, and I'm like going down Oxford Street, and I see this guy coming towards me on the sidewalk, and he's like on his bike, and I'm just like, okay, first up, we have bike lanes.
Yep.
And dumbass, you're on the wrong side of the
Yeah.
road because you're coming towards me. You're
Right.
going in the opposite flow of traffic. And I was just like, there's 2 dings for you anyway. And I was just like, oh, shake my head.
Yeah,
Shake
yeah.
because it drives me nuts. If I see anybody who's riding their bikes on the sidewalk, when you know that, you can, if it doesn't have a bike lane, you can still stay on the side of the road, but go with the flow of traffic. Don't be going against it and coming along like while somebody's on there. And I was just like, it's a sidewalk, not a bike path. I will get, sometimes my little sassiness comes out in the videos.
I really love that. And that was one of the videos you kind of started by showing your face, and then you did the walk down.
Yeah, because I did 2 videos that day because I started.
You did mention,
I
that.
started down at North Street, North and Gottingen, right there on the little median under the trees, and I started that video, and I just walked North Street all the way up until I got to Chebucto and Oxford, like that little conglomeration of the streets.
Weird
Stopped that one, and then had a snack because I always keep like granola bars in my backpack, and said, okay, let's fire up another walk and everything. So I walked down Oxford and then Quinpool Road, and all the way till I got to the Commons.
Oh, wow, that's
and that was a long walk.
Do you? Oh, you don't? Do you?
No, I normally do. I forgot to put my Fitbit on.
Oh, okay, so you like what would I guess the longest, highest number of steps you've had in one of these walks?
In one of the walks, I think the most I ever did, it was when I was in Toronto back in October. I went up for a weekend to meet up with the Toronto YouTubers, and I think I did like almost 4 hours of straight walking, so I had over 35,000 steps by the end of it.
That's insane.
Because I was doing a collab with Johnny Strides, so he did the first part of the video where we walked into the East End going through Cabbage Town, like going from like we started out, well, I met him at the Wellesley subway station, so we started at Yonge and Wellesley, and we just walked Wellesley all the way down to Parliament, and then I picked up the video and we went and walked all through Cabbage Town. Went through all that and Riverdale Park because I said, if I'm going to be doing anything, I want Riverdale Park and end this video with the skyline because it has the best skyline of Toronto from the East End. So you can see from like Midtown all the way down to past the CN Tower.
Oh,
and
nice.
it's just like this one great big panoramic. And then one of the other YouTubers who's in Toronto, he met up with us at like when I finished, and then we did a live stream. The 3 of us live streaming all at the same time, all on our own channels.
Right.
So we had viewers that were like, okay, I'm trying to go between my computer, my TV, and my phone, trying to watch all 3 of you. And we walked from there, which was like Broadview and Dundas, and we walked all the way to Chinatown, to Dundas and Spadina.
I mean, yes, mentioning this now, like
I was like, I have arthritis in my knees.
Oh no!
And I was wearing a brace underneath my jeans, and I'm just like, this is killing me. And I'm just like still talking to everybody, and I'm like, and at one point, my friend Tara, who lives in Toronto, she was like, I could tell that your knee. She writes into the comments. She goes, your knee's killing you, isn't it? And I was like, yup, And I'm just like, it is. She goes, yeah, when you stopped at University, like on Dundas and University, where like it's a huge intersection, she goes, yeah, when you started walking again, your knee gave out. And I was like, you saw that? And she goes, oh yeah. I was like,
she really knows you.
And yeah, she does. Like we've been talking for years and everything. So then when we had dinner, like at one of our viewers, her family owns a restaurant in Chinatown, so we all just ended up, that's where we ended the live stream, was outside of the restaurant, and then we were in there for a couple of hours just chilling out, and then I walked back to my hotel in downtown Toronto from Chinatown, so I ended up getting more steps after I ate, but then I had to eat. I had to walk off that Cantonese food, man. That was the best Chinese food I ever had.
You get to your hotel, did you just crash? Or?
I took a bath.
Oh, yeah.
I took a bath.
Yeah.
Because I was right downtown. I had a Shoppers Drug Mart right beside me. I went in, bought a bag of Epsom salts, and just dumped it into the tub and just soaked and went right to bed, and then got up the next day. And, it was like, okay, I have to check out of the hotel today. Checkout's not till 1 because I extended my checkout instead of 11. So I hopped on the subway and went right up, and I did Yorkville. So I did like the fancy schmancy Yorkville, but it was like Sunday morning. The only people I saw were people going out to get their coffee and walking their dogs, like all the rich folks. And then I hopped on the subway again and went up and did Koreatown. So I walked between Bloor and Christie to Bloor and Bathurst, and I was like, looked, and I even showed it on the sidewalk where they had a memorial plaque for the old Honest Ed's discount store. Because I lived in Toronto for a couple of years in my 20s. I always say I grew up in Toronto because I'm from small town Nova Scotia. Moved up there when I'm like 20, right out of hair school, working, and yeah, it was, and I remember going to Honest Ed's just because it looked like Vegas because it was all lights. And now it's affordable housing that they're building there.
Oh.
That's the project, is that they had to use that land for affordable housing because they
Okay.
demolished the discount store. They got rid of Mirvish Village and everything, which was like a really good, like funky neighborhood and everything. And so I did that, and I walked back and I saw this place called East Coast Donairs. So I'm like, all right, let's see. So I'm like looking at the post because it was a Sunday, before noon, so nothing was open. So I'm like walking by and I'm looking at this picture of the Donair, and I'm like, the fuck is this green stuff? You don't put green on your Donairs. I'm just like, you don't. It's your meat, it's your onion, it's your tomato, and that's awesome sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm just like, if this place was open, I'd be right in there saying,
"You're gonna piss on your mind."
I would, and it was funny because later on or something, my friend Johnny, he went into a Jesse's Pizza because Jesse's Pizza, they have one location in Toronto, and he goes, I'm gonna try a Donair, and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. I said, because of their laws for their restaurants and stuff, they can't make them the way that they do them down here. They don't have like the spits.
Oh, okay.
And so they have to like fry it onto the thing. And he goes, it wasn't so bad. He goes, the sauce wasn't all that garlicky or sweet like you said. And I said, then they probably made it with tzatziki sauce. And I was just like, because I'm I love my Donairs. It's our thing. And I did a video one time where it was just a short little one where I went and got a Donair for lunch. Went down to Pizza Corner, went into, I think it was, at the time it was Johnny K's, and got a Donair. Because King of Donair is not at Pizza Corner anymore. So I'm just like, but I always mention Pizza Corner when I go on videos. Like, I have my memories from 20 years ago of Pizza Corner when I was at that age where I could go to the Dirty Dome and I could go to the Palace and all these other places that are changed names and changed hands. But Pizza Corner was always Pizza Corner.
Yeah.
And I can still remember like all that. But I have to tell people, this is how you do it. You got to pick it up. I don't care. You grab as many napkins as you can and everything like that.
So one thing that kind of stands out for me is like, even though you do it solo, there's this whole community vibe about what you do. And now sharing this story about you in Canada, you in Toronto, it's like the community is really tight. Am I reading it wrong, or is that?
No,
like,
they're a really good community. Like we all met each other through other YouTube channels. So you'll see the same people in the different chats and making comments on the videos and everything. So
what is it? Is it the walking that?
it's the walking and finding out about different places. Like, like I wish I could have started earlier during the pandemic, because that way I could have been the person that went out and showed you Halifax if you didn't want to get out of your house, because that's where a lot of walking channels basically sprouted from. Was the pandemic was just a way for I'm going to live vicariously through this person, because they're going to show me like around where they live.
Yeah.
And that's what got me thinking, oh, I'm going to show Halifax, because you get your touristy videos of Halifax and the drones over the thing, and they show you all this, and I was like, no, I'm going to show you my city.
Yeah.
I've lived here since the 90s. I know the city like the back of my hand. I'm going to show you what the interesting parts, places where the locals go. And I've had people saying like, you should make your channel like, like I'm watching it because I want to plan a vacation, but how come you're not showing the historical side, and making this? And I'm just like, well, I'm not a tourist. I'm not a tour guide. These aren't tour videos. This is just me walking around my city and showing you different little things. And, given little tidbits if I can. If I know something about a place that's interesting, I will mention it to you. You know, but I'm not a tour guide.
Not a tour guide.
Not a tour guide.
Oh man, Bev, I'm really enjoying our chat. Okay, I'm gonna let you go with this one. You know, you're doing this, it's a hobby, it's thing just, you know, but I guess where do you see it going? Are you gonna do a merch store or?
I've had people approach me about that. I've had a few people, you know, different that would come up with a logo, but I'm not at that point yet. You know, I still have my faithful followers. You know, they've stuck through me when I kind of did like a hiatus, and but you know, they're all still there supporting me. I have like my Patreons that, you know, are still supporting me. I've gained more Patreons during my hiatus than I did when I was actually recording the videos. But now that I'm back, like right now, I have my camera in my purse over on the chair there. It's charging up. I got because I left and it was like 17%. I can't make a video after the podcast, you know, at 17%. So, you know, plugged in the external power bank and have that. So I'll probably, like, after I leave here, just pull out the camera and just go.
Wow.
And go.
Bev, thank you so much for sharing and coming in. I love your videos. They are always, you know, it's that you put yourself in the videos. It's so entertaining because I've lived here for a while and then there are places I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Or you give some tidbit about a spot and I didn't know that. But then every once in a while you see someone cycling the other way. And it's always funny when you...
Because I make a sassy comment. Yeah. I can't help it. Like, you know, yeah.
Thank you so much, Bev.
Yeah, thank you.